The following opinions are solely those of BoatTEST.com and its test captain.
Hi, Captain Steve for BoatTEST.com, and today we'll be taking a tour of the Bavaria Yachts Factory in Germany, one of the most automated factories in the marine industry. Let's take a closer look at how they do it. The process begins with the lines for the hull and deck. Each new boat is drawn with CAD software and 3D modeling to give designers as realistic a look as possible. Engineers develop furniture that serves multiple purposes to enhance the versatility of Bavaria yachts. With the design complete, let's see how the boats are manufactured. Each Bavaria model has its own hull and deck molds that are prepared by workers. The first of many robots used in the construction process applies the gel coat several millimeters thick. Engineers specify the fiberglass materials and patterns used in each Bavaria model. Following the lamination schedule, technicians apply the layers of foam coring and fiberglass in precise order. Isophthalic resin is used for resistance to osmotic blistering. After the hull cures, it's pulled from the mold and computer-controlled robots drill the holes for hardware and cut out the windows. Like the hulls, the decks on Bavaria boats are laminated with foam coring, and the top and bottom halves are laid up in separate molds. Before the two halves are joined, the wiring ducts and other accessories are set in place. A chemical bonding agent is applied to the deck halves, and then the two pieces are joined together and clamped into place so the adhesive can cure. A CNC milling machine cuts the edges and drills out the holes for hardware and fittings. Notice the aluminum shavings coming out of the drilled holes. This is evidence of the aluminum backing plates that are bonded into the hull to support hardware such as cleats and rails. Teak decks are individually made for each boat and bonded in place with a vacuum process. Gauges are fit into the dash by hand. The panel is then secured to the helm console so the wiring harness can connect to the engines. Now it's time for some of the external propulsion system components to be mounted to the hull. Through-hull connections are drilled and finished. If an owner orders a bow thruster, this is the time to install it. Bavaria builds all the wooden structures for its boats' interiors at the factory where craftsmen call on more than 30 years of finish work experience. To reduce the amount of time required to finish those parts and to create a precise fit, all the wooden pieces are cut by CNC machines. They're also cut from the same sheet of wood to ensure that the wood grains match. A robotic arm sorts all the interior pieces for each boat. They're then loaded onto a conveyor and varnished 6 times. Now the interior structures can be assembled. This is when all that finishing experience comes into play. Now let's look at the 4 production lines that Bavaria uses to finish its power boats. To help the hull better withstand moisture, one of the first steps is to finish all the interior surfaces with gel coat. Technicians secure the engines to the motor mounts and route all fuel lines and wire harnesses. The motors are then test fired and run briefly. Rigging all the onboard system requires proper routing of wire and water hoses. This includes making sure that the connections can be accessed for maintenance or inspection. Finished interior sections get set in place with a crane and crew members check the fit. Once the position is right, the structures are laminated to the hull to create a solid bond. With the pre-assembly rigging on the hull and deck complete, it's time to put together the 2 primary pieces of the boat. The hull to deck joint is glued and mechanically fastened. Windshields and hull side windows are pre-cut for each model. Technicians check the fit and then secure the glass in place with adhesive. On a boat equipped with a hardtop, it's installed after the windows. Any equipment for the hardtop, such as glass, windshield wipers, and antenna, have already been mounted and have the appropriate wires run. Bavaria's quality control team inspects every aspect of every new boat. The team uses a comprehensive checklist to make sure that nothing is missed. Boats up to 56 feet long can fit into Bavaria's 13-foot deep test pool. Engines are run and systems are checked for proper operation. The finished boat is loaded on a trailer to be shipped to one of the Bavaria yacht dealers around the world. And that wraps up our look inside the Bavaria Yachts factory. For BoatTEST.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.